What's going on, guys? Clifton Denny with On Your Own Outdoors. Hey, so I'm here at my buddy Jay's house. He's over here behind the camera. He let me come out this morning and harvest the doe on his property. And so while I was here in northwest Arkansas this week, I went ahead and picked up one of these Game Winner 2.0 climbers. The reason that I did that is the weight of them versus the Summit, right? So this stand doesn't pack flat, so it packs more like the Summit style stands. And the weight seems to be about the same. I think I won't say one way or the other. One says it's 20 something, one says it's like 23. But anyway, so the Academy Sports up here had them. They're a $99 climber. So I thought, why not, right? We might as well go pick one up and see, compare them to the other climbers that's like that to see if there's really that much of a difference in the price ratio versus what you're getting. So I went ahead and took it out of the box. There's 4 bolts whenever you buy it new. These bars that are here across the top, you've got to put those 4 bolts in. So if you run out and you buy one, just know it comes with the tools to do it. And I think it took me roughly about 5 minutes to do it. So it comes with this strap here that goes around it. So just like the Summit stands, this stand, it sits inside of itself. That's the way it packs. So I guess one cool thing is it came with its own strap to kind of tighten it up, try to help you keep it quiet. Let's see. And it actually came with 2 of them. So one for the top, one for the bottom. Alright, so the way that these work, the bottom of the platform has the actual shoulder straps on it. They come on the stand whenever you buy it, so you don't have to worry about trying to get them set up. And the way that it packs is that the top just sits down on top of the bottom, so that was pretty easy to mess with. I'll say one thing that I don't like about it, just right off the bat. If you can see this here, the cables on this work off of these pull pins, so it does have the pad in there to kind of keep it from clanging and tanging, but this rolls and it's just going to turn into a real pain in the woods trying to get it right. These cables at the end have just a single hole in them. They slide in. Once you get in to where you want them at, then you take this and just shove the pin through. The plus side, I guess you'd say, is they're easy to use. The downside is it's hard to get them lined up, and then everybody knows these little jokers make all kinds of noise in the woods. If you've ever hunted out in any of the ladder stands from Walmart, you already know that. So we're going to go ahead and put this thing on a tree and see how it works there. Alright, so we're to the tree now. One negative about this stand versus like the Summit is the cord that holds your bottom to your top. It's not like that bungee style cord. It's an actual, strap. So the bad thing about that is you're gonna maximize how far up and down you can go. So if you don't have it adjusted out right, you're gonna be fighting that while you're in the stand. So we'll go ahead, like always, when you get to your tree, if you can hear that, that's an issue with it. It's loud. But just remember, when you get to the tree, you're always gonna put your top on first. That way it's not. If you put your bottom on first, it's gonna be in the way the whole time. Put it on. Come over to the side. It is cool. They have on this thing, they have like some kind of little plastic around the end of these little cables that slide in, and so it actually keeps it from making a whole lot of noise, which isn't bad. So get your top on. And you can kind of see there, this is what I was talking about. If you'll notice, whenever I do the Summit and the Lone Wolf videos, I'm able to take that dude way up there because it's got that bungee strap on it. This one being a solid strap isn't so much like that. You're pretty limited on how high you can go. So this bottom is actually going to be a lot louder than the top. So the top has that, foam around it to keep this from doing that kind of stuff. You don't have that on the bottom, so if you ended up buying one of these stands, I would suggest one of the first things you do is go get some kind of tape and wrap around that, because it's going to make some noise. Alright, so one thing we always talk about, I'm going to set this about here because obviously I'm doing the review down lower from the ground so that y'all can see me. But remember, if you're new to a climber and you're going to climb, when you start down at the base of a tree, you want some sort of angle. You know, something probably about like that. Same thing with the bottom. So when you tighten them up, you want them at an angle. The reason being is the higher you go up the tree, the smaller the tree gets in diameter, and it'll flatten out, right? So if you start like this and you try to go up that tree, you're going to end up, you know, 15, 20 foot up in the tree with your nose angled down, and it won't feel near as safe and it won't be near as safe. So before we climb, the seat part works just like the summits do. One thing that's a little bit different with this game winner stand, let me get the tree. One thing that's a little bit different with this game winner stand is the straps. So the way the feet part work on these, it's got these two straps that are already on there. They come on there when you get them, and they just roll over. You put your feet in them. One thing I'm not a fan of, as you can see, they're not very secure. So that would be something I would play with and try to get a better answer for, because they slide up and down these sides, and it just, I don't like it. Alright, so as far as climbing goes, these work just like the summit versions do. Just kind of sit your butt down, you can hook on these and come up. If you can see, whenever I was just climbing, I actually just used this bar on the outside to climb up with. And the reason being is these little strap things they have, they don't work worth a piss. Even if you try to go the other way. So anyways, if you end up one of these game winner stands, just know that you're going to have to practice with it. I'm used to climbing using the outside of my stands because I use the Lone Wolf and that's how it operates. But if you're used to more of like that summit that's got the hook style on it, you're going to have to play with this a little bit. So we'll just go ahead and leave it there. Bring this down. Like I talk about with all these stands that have the front bar. So the seat on this works just like the summits do. It slips around, snaps together, comes around the tree. One thing about this seat is that it doesn't have that bungee kind of elastic deal. So you have to tighten it up to where you want it, and you can see that it's a cheaper stand. So a lot of these parts are just cheaper, just like this strap is what it is. So where it's sitting at right now, this is how I would keep it if I was bow hunting. We talk about that in a lot of these videos, that I use my kneecaps. So whatever stand that I'm using, if I'm going to be bow hunting out of it, I go by my kneecaps. The only reason is whenever I'm up in the tree and I'm going to try to take a shot, I have all that room to play with. How about this gear trail, Jay? But anyways, I have all this room to play with, whereas if you had this up higher where you felt probably a little bit more safer and you had it up this way, you wouldn't have that room. So sitting down in them, I mean, honestly, it's like a lazy boy. I mean, it's no different than the summit stand. The front bar, we talked about that with the summit stands. Another good thing about these is they are solid. So if you are rifle hunting out of it, you can get that rest. It gives you that sense of security around the front of you. So that's a plus for some guys. Again, talking about these little clips that are on the side, if you can see there, they're just in the way. I don't like that design at all. But it's a $99 stand. So we'll go ahead. You can see now, like, this is how I would hunt if I was bow hunting, so that my cams aren't in the way of this. We're going to go ahead and slide this up just a little bit. So if you're a rifle hunter, keeping the stand up a little bit higher. So just like the other stands, if you keep it up here about that waist high, when you sit down now, it's more of like a seat. You're not sitting down so low, and it's easier to get up and down. Another big deal about these stands that have the solid front brace is that, you know, back whenever I used to hunt out on one of these, I used to rifle hunt, I would find myself a lot of times sitting like this. And the only reason is I can lean up with that rifle and get a rest up against the tree. But yeah, so that's pretty simple there. This stand does, this part that's right here, so this bar that's in the back, it sticks out a little bit further than the summits do. So you do have that kind of, I'll call it a hot spot, just that spot that's gonna, I can tell if I sit here all day long, at some point in time, my back's gonna get to bothering me and I'm gonna end up having to lean forward or sit a different way because of that bar that's in the back. To get down, same thing. You've got your little hooks here. Like I said, use the outside of the stand. It just makes it easier. Come down, use your front bar as something to hang on to. You can come down like that. So, the takeaways from this stand, the pluses and the minuses. We always start with the minuses so we can end on a positive note, right? So, the minus side of it, it's heavy. These little clips, literally if they'd have just done something different with these little clips and the way that the cable locks into the stand, it could have made this stand a hell of a lot better stand if they would have just found a different alternative for these pins. Even if they would have just ran the holes the opposite direction so the slack of it was hanging off, you know, hanging underneath rather than sticking out either in towards the stand or sticking out here on the outside. The other negative about it is it's a little bit heavier stand and it doesn't pack flat. The plus side about it is, this is a $99 stand, and I'm going to tell you right now, there's not a whole bunch of different in between it and a Summit. A Summit platform is a little bit bigger. I could tell that while I was in there. It's most certainly a little bit wider. Not just the Goliath, the Viper is a little bit bigger as well. So the Summit stands are a little bit bigger made stand, but all in all, they're pretty damn similar. And these are a fraction of the price. So I would suggest, man, if you're somebody that's just now looking into getting the climber hunting, or if you have a piece of private land where you're not having to tote something 2 or 3 miles in, and maybe it's a stand that you want to leave out there, so you take it into a spot and you leave it so you can hunt it throughout the year when the wind's right and that kind of thing. Even if you hunt public land and you hunt closer to a road, and it's not something you're wanting to drag out of the woods, it's $99. So, yeah. To my surprise, I actually kind of like this stand. I didn't think I would. I thought it was going to be really cheap. I thought it would feel cheap, and it doesn't. The only issue I really have with this stand is this cable. So, yeah, if you're looking for a climber, something that's not going to break the bank, by all means, go check out this Game Winner 2.0 at Academy. I think you'll really like it. So, don't forget, guys, hit the bell so that the next time I post a video, you get a notification. Who knows, maybe it'll be something that you didn't realize that you needed. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and by the time you guys see this, you will have already seen a video. Mr. J let me come out here and harvest the doe off, and hopefully there'll be more to that to come later in the week. So guys, like always, I appreciate you watching, and we'll catch you later.